absolutely beautiful. Like, I just came from the mountains because I deliver to Asheville every day, and it was snowing up there. It's so pretty, but it's so nice because once I get back to Charlotte, it's sunshine, everything's dry, and I don't know, it's great because I get to see the mountains during the morning time, and then in the afternoon I get back here, and it's a completely different change of weather. It's crazy, but that's North Carolina for you. It'll snow, rain, hot summer heat, and then perfectly spring weather all in the same freaking day. It's crazy. I used to hate it, but I really enjoy it now, and I'm kind of glad that I live in North Carolina just because I get to experience everything differently. But so in my first video, I talked about the throttle controller from 3.8 Performance, and I have to say the throttle controller is by far, I cannot stress it enough, like that is one of the best mods you can buy for your car that helps out not only performance wise, but if you want to save gas, it really does save gas, and it's great. One thing I cannot stand is people that don't know how to drive in a roundabout. Like, you're not supposed to stop midway through. If there's a car that's pulled up to it and you're already in the roundabout, they're supposed to yield. But a lot of people in North Carolina, they're still trying to get used to them, and I know the rest of the world has them, and it's a very simple idea, but apparently it's just too hard for some people. Sorry about that. I just wanted to get away from it. But yeah, so basically the throttle controller, it is, I don't know how to explain it, but it reroutes your, I guess the throttle response to the car, and it makes it so much better. Like, this is the way I feel like it should have came from the factory, and that's when you know that a product is good, if it feels like it should have came from the factory like this. Because I hate to say it, the Genesis Coupe platform, the pedal throttle response, whatever you want to call it, when you are on the pedal and you let off, the RPMs immediately just drop, and it really sucks because if you're not paying attention to what you're doing, or if you're not like familiar with it, the car will buckle, and that definitely happened to me a couple times when I first started driving my BK1 Genesis, and it kind of took some getting used to. I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks. I kind of got, after that amount of time, I was somewhat familiar with the car and how it handles. But the BK2 series, if you put the throttle controller on it, horsepower that you're wanting to send. It doesn't necessarily increase the horsepower, but it increases the feeling and the handling of it. Like, it helps tremendously, and I absolutely love that. But as far as eco mode on the highway is the best way to drive. You save gas. The most I've gotten so far in the car, going 68, 70 miles an hour on the highway, I've gotten to 29.8 miles to the gallon, which is crazy because mine's the 3.8, it's the V6, and normally you don't get that in a V6 car, but right now I'm getting 22.3 miles to the gallon. That's just because I was running a little bit hard earlier this morning on my way to work, and it kind of went down. But normally, if you have it on eco mode and you're just daily driving it to and from work and everything, just around town, I would say you'll probably get about 23 to 25 miles to the gallon, give or take, like 1 or 2 miles, just depending on how much you rev the car and how hard you drive it. But just everyday use, it is perfect. I absolutely love it, and I highly recommend it for you guys. Again, it's $125 or $126 plus tax or shipping. I think I paid like $130 or $131, and it is by far the easiest install. And I can even uninstall it and reinstall it if you guys want me to do that. I can show you. And the best part is, if you don't want it in the car, say like you have to go take your car to get some tires done or any maintenance work or anything, if you can't do it yourself, you can actually unplug it from the car and it'll still tell your ECU, or the last setting that you had it on, your ECU will still run the car on that last setting, even if it's unplugged from the car, which is great in case like you want to turn it down. So if someone does get in your car, like they're not going to redline it or anything like that. Like they won't have a choice because it's whatever setting you set it to. But I highly recommend it. It's such a great product, and for the money, by far one of the best mods that you can definitely buy. Okay, everybody, so I just went and picked up my first package. I thought what I thought it was actually was not what it was. Or, well, okay, excuse me. This package from 3.8 Performance. I bought the grounding kit, and I'm super excited for it. It's definitely going to be a fun little install. It should only take like 10-15 minutes. But basically what it's going to be able to do, I will put the grounding wire to the battery, and I'm going to go around throughout the car and connect all the ground wires. And basically what it's going to do, it will be able to send the full efficient amount of voltage to each ground wire, so my car is getting the correct amount of power to each of those wires. I believe there's one for the ECU, for the transmission, my intake manifold, the what is it called? The cold air intake. It goes over there near the air sensor and everything. And there should be another one that goes to the front of the engine. I'll have to double check and make sure, but I'll do an install video on this. I'm super excited. I just bought this a couple weeks ago, and huge shout out to them. Like, please order from them because they are awesome. And unfortunately, Dustin Davis is no longer with us, but just what a awesome guy he is. Really cool guy, and I hugely recommend to support them with their company and everything. His wife is still keeping up the business, and it's awesome, and I'm really happy for him. And I hope this new year is going to be great for all of them and their family and their friends and everything. But I will definitely keep buying from them, and I'm super excited for this. This, however, is actually not what I thought it was going to be, but I'm happy that it came in as well. So my throttle body, I had to get a new gasket for it because the gasket for my throttle body spacer went out, and I had to get a new one. So I'm actually really stoked about this. It feels pretty good. It's really thick, that's going to be interesting, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, so I'm excited for this. I'll probably do a little install video. That'll only take like 5 minutes or something. Super easy to do. But basically it'll reseal everything, and I am super happy because I hate when the air leaks and my air-fuel ratio is off, or just the air in general. Like, it's not getting the full potential. But the throttle body controller, or the throttle controller that I'm talking about, is this right here. Mine's got a couple scratches on it just from wear and tear. But I mounted it right here because it's easy for me to be driving and just reach up and do it. And I'll actually show you the settings too. Hang on. So right now, as I said earlier, it's on EC5. You can turn it. It's off, non-applicable. It's it's turned off right now. So it'll run on this factory ECU and everything, the way the car came from the factory. And then this is HA. You have different settings. I believe it's 9 settings. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so they all have 9 settings. I have this one at H5. HH is a little bit more intense. The throttle response, it just goes up more, but it's not to the point where it's like uncontrollable and you can't control it or anything. It's a little bit, if you just want to have some fun. Now, FA, I believe that's for the automatic. This is crazy. Like, I tried driving in this, and obviously it doesn't work because I have stick shift, manual transmission. So it definitely, for me, like, it's too much, and I don't even mess with it. But I have it to FA9 just because, I don't know, I left it like that. It was the setting it came on. This setting I do use, and I actually have gotten very, very used to this setting. It's the FH9. Let me shut the door for a second so you can actually, okay, maybe that's a little bit better light. But yeah, so this setting is the highest setting, and this is like race car setting, basically. It completely increases it 100%, or I guess 110%, to be honest with you. And it's really fun because my family and friends that have driven my car, and I'll turn this on, and I'll leave it there, and I'll tell them about it, but they're like, oh yeah, it's nothing, it's okay, whatever, like, I drive a manual. And I was like, all right, we'll see. They choke off every time because the throttle response is just so quick. The RPMs, it literally just goes zoom, zoom, and just shoots up. Also, love the... Forgive me for, don't judge me because of my car noises, whatever. But yeah, this setting, I've gotten really used to it, and I drive on it more on the regular day-to-day basis whenever I'm like going out on a cruise or something with friends, or to go out of town or something like that. Like, I drive on this setting, and it's really great whenever you're trying to get onto a ramp to merge onto the highway or anything, or like if you have to pull out really quick into traffic. This will definitely help. Just make sure you don't hit the gas too much because you will spin tires, it's fun, but tires are expensive and you definitely don't want to. But for just like driving to and from work, eco mode, that's what I drive, is E5. I used to have it at E3, but it wasn't enough. This one, literally, since I was talking to you guys, I'm getting 21.2 miles to the gallon. I believe earlier I said I was getting 22. It kind of went down because I had turned it to the FH setting. And that's also, if you're on FH, your gas, you're going to be filling up like 2-3 times a week, depending on how fast you're driving. But totally worth it, super easy install. And I've got my wire, it kind of goes in there, and I'll show you. It sort of just plugs up right there, if you see it. I got it running up under, kind of zip tied right in there. This, don't even pay attention to. It's a little OBD2 code scanner reader thing. I bought it when I had my first Genesis, and I just kept it on the car. I mean, it works. It's not bad. Definitely a little recommend. But yeah, so this is, and actually, the way forgive it being dirty, because I just got off work, but the way my mat is, this is the clip I'm talking about. You just pop it off, and then literally you just slide it up, and it plugs right up in there, and then you can just run it through. And it's really, really simple. I love it. Definitely I cannot stress enough, the best mod that you can buy for the money. That is the best performance mod, I believe, because not only does it make the car feel faster, it tremendously enhances the throttle response, and then also for eco mode, it saves you on gas mileage. So that's awesome. So I talked about some of the mods. Let's go over what I've actually done, and I'll show you guys. Another thing too, I actually drilled these out. This is the second set I bought. The first ones that I bought, or that came on the car, I had the idea I was actually going to just cut all the way around it, and that was great, but I didn't realize at the time it was too much, and every time I would wash the car, I had to put paint over it, painter's tape over the vents, because the water was just going in, and it was way too much, and it also looked like I did a really bad job on it. I got these $30 on Amazon, and they're the OEM fit. They actually match up perfectly. The paint obviously is a little bit different, but I don't mind at all, because the vents that come on it, they're like a matte black anyway. But I highly recommend, if you do have the BK2, just drill them out. Super easy. You can either do it with a drill bit. I did it with a Dremel, and then I went back and just kind of cleaned it up, made it smoother. Really, really helps. And then the other thing, so I'll pop the hood and I'll show you. So this is the cold air intake from 3.8 Performance that I was telling you guys about. This is my throttle body spacer, the one that's got the grooves cut in it, so it actually sounds like a turbo. Whenever the air is going into it, it actually spins it in a turbine, and it sounds awesome. But the gasket that I'm talking about is actually this one right here. It's broken, and I've got it sealed somewhat, but I mean, you can definitely tell it's leaking, and hopefully that new gasket is going to help out tremendously. But this cold air intake, this is what a cold air intake is. I'm sorry guys, but if you have the short ram intake that's like right here, that is the worst thing you can do. Keep the stock air in box for the car that comes on, because if you cannot get this, that is your best thing, because it's enclosed, it's in a box, and it helps. I don't care if you have the heat shield, it doesn't work. It is the worst thing you can do, because if you don't have this where it's drilled out and no air can escape, all you're doing, you have it here, you rev it, hot air comes in, and it just overflows on top, and it is the worst thing you can do for your car. However, for me, so not only did I get the cold air intake, but I actually drilled out these holes too. So if you see, I don't know if you can see the filter in there, but basically whenever I'm driving, cold air is always going in. Now PJ, he's another YouTuber, he actually cut all this out. I was going to do that, but I just didn't want to have to do the wire mesh, and this was easier for me, and it works just the same. And whenever I'm washing the car, it definitely helps as far as not getting any, not near as much water actually goes to the filter. And surprisingly, I haven't had any problems when I wash my car. And the black grill delete that I was talking about, this is kind of it. I did a really bad job. As you can see, it's been chipping, so I'm definitely going to have to go back over and do some lays. But it looks a lot better black. And this is the front lip that I got. It's a generic one. I believe it's the MS or the MMS lip. It just kind of helps bring the car together a little bit more. Let's see, what else? Engine leash, another really good mod. I think this is like $45 or $50 on 3.8 Performance. Really, really good for, it is super easy. You literally, all you do, undo these bolts. They are 14, I believe. And you just put it under there, you run it over here, lock it in, so whenever you're under hard acceleration or anything, the engine normally likes to jerk and move about, but this actually keeps it pretty steady. And you don't want it super tight, you want a little bit of play, but at the same time it helps on launches or anything else. These are the lightweight pulleys I was talking about. Those are down there. Those are really easy to install, they're not hard. You just need to remove. I kept this as well just because I like to be able to have air go into the ram, and it shoots down in here. So it's coming from here and it's coming from here. So I'm getting two places for the air to go into the cold air intake. Obviously, what is it called? The oil catch cans. Those are going, what else have I got? I'm trying to think. I'm running colder spark plugs. That's another thing too. Oh yeah, and the manifold riser. So this, highly recommend, totally worth the money. That also really helps, especially if you have the cold air intake, a throttle body spacer. I'm hopefully in the future going to be able to get the upper and the lower intake intake manifold. I'm going to get that ported by 3.8 Performance. I'm actually in the works right now buying the upper and the lower one from another person that I found that's selling his, and I cannot wait to see what that's going to do to the car. It's definitely going to help tremendously, so I'm super excited about that. And then let's see, Brembo brakes, already got those. This is the wing I was talking about, or the spoiler, not really a wing, but I just love this one. It's super easy. Definitely one of a kind. You don't see that type of wing anywhere. And I love the way it looks on the car. It just kind of gives that GTR vibe. Even though I know my car's not a GTR. Everyone always says it's the poor man GTR. But yeah, I love it. And then of course I've got this is the diffuser that I have as well. It's just an eBay generic one, so not too bad. ISR race exhaust, love that. And I think that's pretty much it as far as like the outside. And then of course 8080, but I love buying from them. Hopefully one day I'll win a Supra or something, we'll see. But yeah, so this is it for the most part on the outside of the car. Pretty basic, I don't like to go overboard. And then obviously on the inside I have the 4-point harness with the Cypher racing bar. Got the seats in right now. I had to put the seat belts because obviously they were moving. I have LED lights, don't judge. I used to have them in the old Genesis. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And this is the car. So I like it. It's something, it's not super like in your face, but one thing I will say, love the seats. It's like, I cannot get enough of the R-Spec seats. I thought that the BK1 Track Edition seats were comfortable, but these, they hug you, and I absolutely love that. Basically just a quick overview of the mods that I've done to my car. Like I said, there's more that's coming in the works. I'm working on getting them in and everything, but with this whole pandemic, as people say, shipping, it takes a while, so I'm waiting on it. It's fine. I do have new racing seats that will be coming in, and I already have them, but I'm waiting on the side, or the brackets that you have to put underneath so you can mount it to the floor. But other than that, I mean, for the most part, the car is perfect. I like it. It's not in, like I said, it's not in your face. Like, I know everyone has their opinions, and let me know if you guys love that type of thing where it's like, oh, it's in your face and it's super loud and obnoxious. My car, people tell me all the time it's loud. I guess I've gotten so accustomed to it because normally I don't run the AC, I don't run the heat. I have the windows down and I just listen to the car. I love it. Actually, lately, I don't even run the radio. I literally am just listening to the sound of my car. It's something, and I think that really speaks about your car too. Like, if you don't run the radio or have any type of music or videos playing, it's great that you can just listen to it. I don't know how to say it. Like, for me, it's a little weird. I know, like, on long road trips and stuff, I'll listen to the radio, but other than that, I've just been listening to the car and everything. And it also helps if something's wrong, you can hear it. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it as far as everything goes. Yeah, I think I covered everything. I don't know what else I'm missing for the most part. I'm pretty sure that's everything. So hope you guys enjoy. Y'all have a great day. It is currently Monday afternoon, and I'm going to head back home because I went to a parking lot to do the review, or just kind of like go over the mods and everything. I didn't want to do in the driveway. But yeah, hope you guys have a good one. I will see y'all soon. Please, if you want anything added to the car, if you guys have any ideas, let me know. And also, I'm curious to know what you guys drive. What got you into cars, what type of cars, or trucks, vehicles, whatever y'all like, let me know. I'm interested in it. And yeah, that's going to be it. Y'all have a good one, okay?